Hello, welcome, guys. This is Entertainment in Color, and I am Mika, and welcome, my lovelies, to my live recap and review of Love Island USA Season 5 episodes. Where are we? 7 and 8. Yes, I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't come on last night. I did have a allergic reaction to something. I have no idea. Have to figure that part out. But I'm so happy to be back. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to come and discuss one of my favorite shows going on right now. I actually am really liking this season. I'm not liking some of these people, but I'm absolutely liking this season. So let me find where we stopped at, and then we can discuss uh, from my notes. I don't know how you guys thought of yesterday's episode. Yesterday's episode was, I liked the challenge. I think that's the first time I've seen something like that. I liked how they did it, and I liked what they like how they made everybody involved in it. I didn't hate some of the answers. Some of them I was a little confused on, but some of them made sense to me, so I was good. Um, so let's see. Yesterday we start off the episode with, oh God. Dang, yesterday's episode was long. I have so many notes on it. Um, so yesterday's episode, which I numbered wrong, we have Harrison telling Destiny, "I I just want you to know that I was very happy to pick you and to be coupled up. It was just a hard decision." And Destiny says, "I know it was hard for me." Um, Thank you, Brandy. Hi, how are you? Hey, Prashay. Thank you so much. Hi, TA. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. So we see the boys gathering around, and Marco still has so much to say, but according to him, he felt like if anyone who came there as themselves, Jasmine was that person. But he understands that it was a hard decision for Harrison, and they're all here to find love. Thank you for the stamp of approval, Marco. Thank you for the stamp of approval. Um, so we see a really cute conversation between Destiny and KK. I thought it was so cute. They're up on the balcony, and KK is so excited for her girl. She's like, "I'm just so happy. Did you think that he was going to pick you?" And Destiny is like, "I wasn't sure, but I was so hopeful." And KK says, "I'm so glad you found a man that understands you and who matches your energy." And I have to say, these two episodes, I feel like he really does match her energy. But I think there's a reason for that, because we found out they have the same exact birthday. So they both are born January 15th, which makes them both Capricorns. And so that is a really good match, guys. Plus, they're the same age. I think uh, she is either 26 or 27, and he is also 26 or 27. So that is very, very, very exciting. So she Destiny does say that, oh, he's a tall glass of white wine. I said I might have to use that if I ever find a cute little white guy, because I thought that was cute. And she just wants to climb him. And she's like, he's like Prince Charming, and she's like, it's like a fairy tale. Harrison picks Destiny, and she says he has a size 13 shoe, and you know what that means. And they're just having like a little giddy conversation. I thought it was cute. Next, we see Bergie and Cassie, and he says he thinks there's a lot of potential, and he would have picked someone else if he didn't think so. He had a lot of options. And I'm really see, we're gonna go through these episodes, and people are really downplaying Bergie, but the man knows how to do Love Island. He is saying and doing all the right things contrary to popular opinion. So he is says to in his ITM he is disappointed Victor got to pick Carmen first, but he is happy to explore his connection with Cassie. So I was like, okay, can't hate on that. He's excited to be in this couple. I don't believe in this couple, but what are you gonna do? Cassie says, oh, she's also glad and she thinks that there could potentially be something. And then they talk love languages. Hers is communication and acts of service. So he's like, he's gonna make her some coffee. And Cassie's like, she likes cuddles, and he says, good. He likes to be the big spoon, but she thinks that he means that she be the big spoon. But he makes it clear he wants to be the big spoon. She feels like in this couple they can be relaxed and figure out what they want, but they're not locked off. She plans on chatting with Keenan. So here we see that her priority really is to chat to Keenan. Bergie's just a safe haven right now. It is what it is. Harris and Destiny talk and they're cuddled up by the fire. And he's like, again, like, I'm so happy I made this decision. I think it was the right decision. Um, there's a lot of basis there for them to really have something in the future and to give themselves some time to get there. And she asks him if he liked her dress because it had like a lot of gems and stones. He's like, oh, I loved it. You can't say no to gems. And then he lifts her up and they hug. And it was so cute. And it was like, it is so good to see him like matching her pace without her having to like really say anything. Like he reassured her. When they coupled up the night before, he kissed her on the cheek. And then and even here he like just hugs her and like reassures her and picks her up, but he doesn't get overly sexual with her. I really like the pace that they're going on. Then we see Keenan and KK, and KK feels that this situation is fucked up because Cassie should have been sent home. Girl, we all agree. Cassie, Keenan says, "How did you like my speech?" And she says she loved it. And he asks her the most important question, I think, if someone came in that's your type, what would you do? And she said to get to know him, but get to know him respectfully. And Keenan's like he understands, and that's all he's asking. He says once he saw her standing there, he had no doubts in his head. So that's good to know. She feels like after this, they're stronger than ever. Carmen and Victor are talking, and Carmen says, "If we don't cuddle up, if we don't cuddle, is that a problem? Because just because you picked me does not mean we're going to be cuddling." And she was annoyed at his speech because apparently he was like being shady. And again, this is what I was saying a few days ago about Carmen and Victor. Like, I feel like they tried to match up with each other based on aesthetics, meaning they both look good and they have like one commonality, which is being nerdy and liking, nerdy things, quote unquote. But I don't feel like anything that they've both said, like, he doesn't like going out. He doesn't like certain things. She likes certain things, but she doesn't like certain other things. And when I was listening to them, like, neither of those like other things really match in commonality. So why you guys together? So I feel like they're just together because they're both pretty. And we're going to see that that's not going to work for them long term. But Um, we get Anna's upset that Jasmine went home. Um, and oh, this is in the dressing room. TA says Carmen was being rude to. She was absolutely being rude, but I also think that she doesn't really like him. Like it was so clear that she did not like him. She does not like Victor, and it kind of was like, well, why did you choose him? Did you choose him because he is handsome? Because just having nerdy tendencies is not a reason to choose someone. And I feel like she chose him because, like, kind of what she says in this thing, like her and Hannah were in competition for him, and she won the challenge, and she got to choose him first. But it's like anything else. Like, he likes to be physical. She doesn't. She's a slow burner. He's not. Like, it all those other things, which she said, oh, they talk about a lot of things, and she felt like they had a lot of commonalities, but it's not coming off that way a day later. So we see Anna's in the dressing room. She's upset. She misses Jasmine. Um, Harrison, they ask Harrison if he's a cuddler. He says a little, and Keenan says, "Oh, Destiny's the same way." Someone asks Birdie he's gonna feel some ass, and he's like, "Hell yeah!" And Carmen comes over and hugs him, and then we see Destiny and Harrison do talk, and she's like, she does, like, sometimes she likes space and sometimes she doesn't. They do hug, and then he kisses her on the cheek again, and they hold hands and cuddle up. I like this, guys. I will not fall in love, but I liked this. Their energies just really, really matched, and you see her be so much more relaxed and comfortable with him in bed, in just in their conversations, and he just gives her so much reassurance. Like, it's so. Ooh, I love it. We see Hannah and Marco making out, and then everybody goes to sleep. And in the morning, well, close to the morning, we see Leo is sleep talking, and we hear from Anna. She has a full on conversation about bodybuilding with him in the middle of the night. So Cassie to Birdie, how'd you sleep? He says good. Anna again wakes up saying she misses Jasmine. And Leo tells her it's okay, don't be shy about it, if she needs anything to let him know. Hannah helps Birdie make coffee for Cassie. Someone asks Cassie, was it too much color with Birdie? She said yes. Um, but he does bring her some coffee, and she appreciates it. But Carmen does not appreciate the fact that he promised her coffee and he did not bring it. Um, Hannah says, I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him. And she's like, but it's just like, he promised to bring me the coffee. And again, I know people are going to say, oh no, she's like, I think he played this right. He played this right because he made her very, very jealous. This girl was pissed off. She didn't get her coffee. She is pissed off because he was giving all his attention to Cassie. I think he does like Cassie somehow, but I think it's like more of Cassie's promised him they're going to get to know each other. So I don't know. That's a different subject, but I think he realized that I think that by focusing on Cassie, it actually made Carmen question, oh wait, I can actually not have Bergie, and we agree on a lot of the same things. He really likes me. I really like to get to know him, and I might not have that as an option. So, not mad at it. Cassie and KK finally, finally speak. Cassie approaches her and says, oh, Keenan and I, we're still getting to know each other. Really, I'm still getting to know Keenan. Keenan doesn't really want to get to know me, but I'm still getting to know Keenan. Yeah. So if you see us chatting, it's nothing serious. We're just getting to know each other. And I'm getting to know Bernie too. Um, I'm just trying to find my person. Harrison makes Destiny breakfast, and Anna's like pretty jealous. But Anna comes down, and her and Leah chat, and they go and lay down, and she's still very upset about Jasmine going. She was her best friend, but she thanks him for being super comforting to her. She knows she's an emotional person, but she's happy that he was able to be there for her when she needed it. Um, and to Leo, he feels like Anna's amazing, and he is excited to see where they go further after this. Hannah and Bergie are doing yoga, and she kind of asked him what's his plan, and he says he's going to put a lot of energy into Cassie. He really thinks that there could be potential between them. Um, she's like, oh, but you didn't make coffee for Carmen. And he's like, yeah, but I just felt like it would be awkward pursuing her while she's coupled up with Victor. And I really want to pursue the couple and focus on the couple that I'm in with Cassie. Um, but I'm still interested in Carmen. And I just didn't know what to do. And she's like, well, you'll figure it out. So, I like their friendship. Hannah's really, really good with him. Um, TA says, I am loving the vibe between Harrison and Desi. I'm telling you, it's such a good vibe. It is such a good vibe. And I see now why they are so, like, it's so quickly, because it's like a night and day between her and Marco. Um, Victor does come and reassure Carmen that he's cool with waiting on physical touch. Bertie and Cassie have a conversation, and she's like, "Oh, the coffee was a fine, but she needed more sugar. But showing effort, she loves it. And how about they go for a chat?" And Carmen is literally walking around in sweats and depressed, and I'm just like, "Oh my god, is she really this upset that Bertie picked Cassie or what?" Like, I don't know. Um, he says he liked the cuddle. It felt good. Uh, I do feel like this was her time to tell him she didn't want to cuddle up with him as much, but she did not. But they are open and honest with each other that he wants to still pursue Carmen and she wants to pursue Keenan. So this is kind of like a relationship of convenience at this point, or a coupling of convenience. And we do see KK and Carmen kind of like ear hustling their conversation, because they're on the day beds and they're on the couches, and she's like, I can hear their convo. And they I think it's Hannah walks up to them, and they all agree she doesn't like him like that, and they're worried that she's gonna hurt him. But Carmen's also focused on, well, yeah, he's also got to not make me empty promises and stuff like that. It's not helping his case with me. Um, so then the next thing we see is they're getting ready, and KK gets a text. The girls are going to be exploring their adventurous side. Hashtag jump his bones. Hashtag booby trap. And they are going to do a challenge called Raiders of the Lost Spark. I thought it was really cool. So they have to like go through, cross a bridge, dig in a pit of sand, pick out a snake, give it to one of their fellow girls, then answer a question in a pit, and then once they get a gem, choose a boy to save, and then the boy and that girl will walk through quicksand, and then they share a romantic kiss under the waterfall. So we do have Hannah snakes Anna, And there was no explanation on her snaking. I wasn't sure. Um, Question was who could ruin her. She said Harrison. Um, and she chooses to save and kiss Marco. No surprise there. Anna snakes Destiny because she is too flirty with the guys. And I did notice that because even with the conversation that Keenan had with Destiny, um, hi Rach. No, you're not too late. I am still on episode 7, so we just got to the challenge. Um, so I do notice that Destiny does hang out with the guys a lot. Especially when Marco's not around, like when he's off with Hannah. So I do feel like she has a really good relationship with the guys like Victor, and even with Keenan saying like to Harrison if he was a cuddler, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that Destiny likes that," because I think that she does have really good conversations with the guys. Um, uh, so I guess some girls don't appreciate that. Her question was who has a stone heart, and she said Victor, and Victor says I'm just hard to read, and she does decide to save and kiss Leo. And Destiny did say, oh, she's just mad that my man is fine, and I thought that was hilarious. Destiny snakes Hannah, and she makes it clear that it's because of her man, saying your partner is a reflection of you, and basically, girl, you chose him and he stinks. And I mean, to be fair, the man tried to get her kicked out of the villa, so I don't understand why anybody would be upset at this, but there were some people who were. And her question was, who is uh, Two Face? And she again states it's Marco. She does pick to kiss and save Harrison. Cassie snakes Carmen. Her question, she says, who is, I think, questioning their couple. And she said Keenan because he keeps giving her googly eyes. And Cassie keeps, I feel, trying to make fetch happen because I don't see that man paying her any attention. Um, I'm starting to think it's her way of coping with her situation in the villa, like realizing she doesn't have any real connections. Um, so she's basically made up one in her head. That's all I got of it. But Keenan gets pissed. He's like, that was out of line. The way she's portraying it is not true. And KK's like, she's not sure why he's getting pissed because it's just a challenge. So she goes for her turn and she snakes Cassie, says, because her man is apparently making googly eyes at her. And this just makes Keenan extra pissed. See, I know she heard that. I know she noticed that. No, she's dying laughing because I'm like, it's okay. This is where his immaturity, I feel like, is like really coming out. Cause he's taking this so badly. Um, she's asked who she thinks is the most adventurous in bed. She says Leo, and then she does save and kiss Keenan. Um, and so she does mention that she's like everybody's bugging out. She has to save. She has to get her villa together. Carmen does snake. Hannah, she's last to go, and she snaked Hannah because they were competing for the same guy, and she got him. And Victor's like, "That's me," and I'm just like, "But Hannah's your bestie, or have you dumped her for Cassie? Because like, why would you snake your best friend in the villa?" Like it was so weird. It came out of nowhere. And we do see Hannah starts getting upset. She's like, why am I getting two snakes? and especially from one person who is supposed to be my best friend in the villa. Um, she says, whose future lies with someone else? And she says, Cassie and Virgie. So she does decide to save and kiss Virgie. And Shirley says, maybe Carmen's a jealous girl. She likes competition, i.e., Hannah, Victor, and now Cassie Virgie. It's got to be something because the way this girl was reacting to like him not paying her as much attention, and I don't even think it was a heavy turn. It was a lot. She was upset. I noticed that Cassie intentionally tries to embarrass the men because she did it tonight with Virgie. Did she? I don't remember. What did she do? Let me know what she did. I might have missed it. Um, I do not like how some people are treating Virgie this tonight, though. It actually pisses me off. I don't blame Keenan for being mad. I didn't blame Keenan for being mad at all because I feel like the way he took it and portrayed it was the way that she was trying to make it seem, and I I think he thought it put more doubts in KK's head than it did. I think at this point, KK knows, like, I mean, literally knows that Cassie is a snake. I mean, like, she can't be trusted, so you can't trust anything she's saying. And Brandy says her new best friend is Cassie, and in I'm convinced these folks don't know how to be friends. I'm convinced that that Carmen and Cassie are drawn to each other because they're really kind of, I don't know if I want to say selfish or self centered in the way they are as friends, and kind of also two faced. So, like, I don't have a problem with you pursuing someone in the villa. I don't have a problem with Cassie pursuing Keenan. It's how you go about it. I didn't like it in season 3 and I don't like it now. You don't go and say somebody is your best friend in the villa and you love her and you're there for her, and then you go behind her back and pull her couple. And instead of saying to her, listen, girl, I'm going to go get to know your guy because he's my next best connection. I'm the most attracted to him. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm just letting you know up front. You don't talk to her days later. And again, this is an edited show, so it's possible that it was done. But I have a feeling it wasn't the way KK is kind of upset about it. Tony says, we need to vote for one girl and one boy because we like Virgie, but not Cassie. Like, this vote will be crazy either way. I do think it's about to be crazy. I think Keenan is going to have to be explicit with Cassie. If she sees an opening, she's going with it. And I do think, I don't think we talked about it yet, but um, yes, I do think that's what KK said to him. Um, she said that uh, he had to be a little more clear. I don't know where that was, but oh, okay, it's going to be in a couple pages. But um, Victor is pissed, and Victor is pissed because he feels like every other person picked their couple to couple up to do the challenge with, and he's the only one that didn't get a kiss, and he is very upset about it. Plus, Carmen and Cassie are closer in age. They are, because I think she's 23 and she's 22. So I do think that has a lot to do with it. Rashay says, like, just the way she was answering the questions, it's like she was trying to make Virgie feel bad about being as experienced as everybody else, but I could be wrong. I didn't necessarily take it that way, but I could be wrong as well. I didn't take it that way either. I think she was trying to, because I think, did he say 2 or 3? I think she was trying to be helpful. I'm gonna hope that's what she was trying to do. So next we see Hannah is crying in one of the rooms in the villa, and she's asking everybody for space, but she just tells Anna to come over and KK, and she says she feels like she's been nice to all the girls, so why is everybody snaking her? And she took the challenge really hard that everybody snake her, especially Carmen. And while I understand the challenge, I do think it was the double snaking that got to her, especially with one person being her friend. And so I get it. Like, I feel like she just did. She felt like it came out of nowhere. And she says with Destiny, they had been talking more since she coupled up with Harrison, and she just doesn't understand why they would do that to her. And we all know that with Destiny, it was literally about Marco, right or wrong. But yeah, I still don't understand why Carmen did it. She's like, Carmen's her best friend, and this just put a wedge between them. And the girls are saying, yeah, like, well, if that's how she's gonna act, don't give, don't give her, don't give her any more energy because she doesn't deserve you. Tia says, I was so confused when Carmen gave Hannah the snake. Like, Carmen's personality is so hot and cold at times. She's very that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's more self-centered, but again, like, I think what we're saying is it might be an age factor because those are like the two youngest girls in the villa. And even though I like KK, I think is like 23, and I think, I don't know how, I think Hannah might be the same age. It feels like that they're just used to being like either used to getting what they want or just used to being focused on them and nobody else, and nobody else's feelings and nobody else's wants or needs, and even as friends, which is not necessarily good. That is something they definitely need to work on and change though. Rachel says, I think Hannah also took issue with Carmen calling her competition because Carmen was able to take Vic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her reasoning did not make sense because you got him. So, and the reason why you got him was because you won a challenge, not because he chose you. So what's the competition? Like, none of what she did made sense to me. Um, So Destiny does approach Hannah about it, and Hannah's like, she right now she needs space, and Destiny says she got it. She understands. It's no problem, and she's like, just let me get myself in an even place, and we can have a conversation. Destiny said, understood. She agrees, and she does leave and give her that space, and she's like, thank you for respecting that. Victor is beyond pissed. Virgie doesn't know what to do. He does mention that he's kissed five girls in total, and this is probably like the double that now with all the kisses that he's got. But he asked the boys what to do, and they're like, "Well, first of all, go get clarity from Carmen what she's doing because she literally just basically dumped her couple for you. But why?" And he's like, yeah, I'll have to have a chat with her. And then we see Keenan is pissed, and he feels like, why is she in? Oh, he was in the beach hut with like the hat like over his head, and like all you saw was like this much of him. It was so funny. He's so pissed. Um, so KK comes and she's like, it's just a game, like, but she also tells him, I think you need to be more clear to Cassie because she's not getting what you're saying. And he's like, but I feel like I was. I told her that I'm not pulling her for chats. I'm not making the effort. She wants to make the effort. I will gladly be okay with her doing whatever she wants to do, but I am not making any effort to get to know her. And she's like, you might just need to just get it. Um, then we see Harrison and Destiny and on the day beds, and Destiny's cold, and he gives her his jacket. And she's like, "No, I don't want you to be cold." And he's like, "No, I'm fine." And he puts his jacket on her legs, and oh my god, it's so cute. And they were just like, the kiss came so natural, because they didn't even think about it that they would have to kiss until they got into it. And they're like, oh, like, even though it was natural, like, the waterfall was crazy, but they thought it was romantic. And then as one of the boys walked by, I think it was either Leo or Marco, they're like, oh, you guys look so romantic. And they did. Leo approaches Victor and speaks Spanish, and he's like, "Do you want some space?" And he just unloads. He's like, um, "Out of everybody picked the couple they were in. She saw she was the last one, and she chooses to pick Bertie." And it's just disrespectful. And and he said when he feels disrespected, he's gonna disconnect. He just always disconnects. And he's like, she's gonna have to pull me to chat and clear this up, because yeah, no, I'm pissed. Rach says it was kind of cringe that Hannah and Carmen were begging the men to make coffee. I This is the thing, in the UK it used to be a big deal for them to make coffee. And I think the last few seasons in the USA, they've also been trying to make it like a big deal. We see with UK, I don't think it's as big of a deal this season. For most of the couples, I don't know how many of them actually drink coffee and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just an effort thing. Like, they want to see that the guys, there's very little that the guys can do. They can't take them on dates that's not, like, approved by the producers. So for them, it's like a gesture of, oh, I'm thinking of you. Oh, I care. It's like them asking them to buy them roses every day, but they can't do that because they're in a villa. So that's the thing. Uh, and then we see Carmen is crying to Keenan, saying that the guys were talking shit about her and the girls are talking shit about her, and that Victor is too angry, and she doesn't think that she did anything wrong. And Keenan's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. And I'm like, somebody said, of course Keenan thinks that she didn't do anything wrong because he did the exact same thing in the episode before where he tried to kiss Cassie and a couple and in a challenge, and it didn't work out for him. But he says, don't cry. There's no reason for you to cry. She's really upset that everybody seems to be upset with her. But it's like, girl, they're upset at you for two different things. Why did you snake at Hannah? That's one. And Victor's upset because he feels so, like, it's like two sets of total disrespect out of nowhere for no reason. It just, girl, you moving weird. Um, and then we see Victor ITM and that he's just upset. He feels like that he shouldn't be a nice guy because it's not helping him to win. Birdie, on the other hand, is feeling himself. Um, Hannah and Destiny have a conversation in the girls' dressing room, and they seem to talk it out. And Destiny seemed to explain what her reasoning was, because Hannah said, "Okay, that she gets it now. She understands. She doesn't take as much offense to it." And so Destiny says, "I do apologize, though. It wasn't meant to be serious. It was a game, but maybe she should have thought about how she did it." Um, and so they're fine. I noticed that in the dressing room, Carmen does not say anything, just looks. So then she does approach Hannah later on in the kitchen, And her excuses just sounded like BS to me. I was like, girl, none of this makes sense still. Why did you snake Hannah? It's just like she's and like basically was like, oh, it's a challenge. Like in her head, it's like in one part she didn't take the challenge seriously, and in another part she took the challenge seriously to step out of her couple to get to know Birdie. So which one is it? Why did you snake Hannah? I don't get it. I don't get it. Then we see Kaden pulls Cassie, and she's like, "Oh, I noticed you're upset, and I did want to talk to you about it." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm mad at the comment." Excuse me. She's like, "Oh, well, I wasn't thinking, but I didn't think it was that serious. It was just a game." He's like, you keep saying this to me and like discounting how I'm feeling, and I'm telling you that I feel played. And she's like, well, weren't we looking at each other? She's like, yes, we keep looking at each other, but I feel like it's you mostly staring at me and me seeing you stare at me, and then I'm looking away. Oh, you're isn't that us looking at each other? No, that like she's like trying to make it seem like that's them, that's the googly eyes, but it's like if you're staring the man down and he just like smiles and looks away because it's like why is this girl staring at me and why is it making me uncomfortable? Girl, you're the problem. Stop trying to make him the problem. He's like, it's irritated because it took it personally because it made it seem like I was fawning over a girl that I'm not fawning over. I'm not interested in you. And he's like acknowledges that they look at each other, but he's not fawning over her basically. And she's like kind of just annoyed that he's annoyed, and I'm just like, you keep trying to make fetch happen. You and Keenan ain't happening. It's just not gonna happen, girl. Sorry. Um so Cassie and Bridget do talk, and he's excited by kissing Carmen, and she's like, can we not talk about you and Carmen and your relationship? Can we focus on our relationship and you and me? And it makes me insecure. And why do you like Carmen? So it's like she says that, and then she asks him, why does he like Carmen anyway? And he said, well, she said she would move back to Wisconsin, which is close to South Dakota for him. She wants 4 kids. So does he, but Cassie only wants 2. She seems more physically interested in Birdie, and that shows a lot. And he does say he's not going to cuddle Cassie tonight. I was dying laughing. Um, Victor and Carmen do go for a chat, and he's just passive aggressive. But he does tell her, she's like discounting his feelings. He doesn't feel he's competition in comparison to Birdie, and I don't like. I agree with him that he should feel disrespected. I agree with him that he should be upset about how she went about things. I do not know why he keeps turning all his upsetness at Birdie. And he is like, he's not competition for me. And you should be trying to build a deeper bond with me. I'm your person. And she's like, do not dictate to me how I should move. And she's like, and why do people keep discounting Bergie? You guys think that it's not serious for us, but he and I grew up in the same way. We have the same values. Like, uh, it it makes sense to me. And he's like, oh well, I physically pulled back, and then now Bergie gets to kiss you, so he gets all the fun stuff. And I was like, boy, your birding is not helping you. He's like, I just feel disrespected. And she's like, we are not on the same page. And she's like, I just don't feel like I'm going to be as invested in this relationship as I was yesterday. And she's like, I'm going to go check on my girls. And she leaves. And that was episode 7. I was just like, Carmen, I hope that you know what you're doing, because I feel like we're going on a path of no return. And Crusade says it's because he thinks that Birdie isn't attractive. Victor is kind of self-absorbed also. Yes, Victor's what you would call a classic Leo. I do feel like he wants more of a spotlight on him, but um, at this point, I don't understand what part of at the initial coupling he didn't get chose and neither did Birdie. So what? How are you guys not in the same spot? He might not be competition to you, but you guys are pulling the same girl. So something he's doing is working. Something you're doing is not. And I feel like what's working is Virgie is communicative. He listens to the girls. He makes them feel seen. He takes what they're saying and he tries to be cognizant of it and work on his own behavior, but not all, to change himself, but to make sure that they feel heard, seen, wanted. That is the difference. And yes, he might not be aesthetically the most handsome man in the villa, but stuff like that will make a girl want to fuck you. Period. That is what happens. That is why men like a Birdie get supermodel type women, because they give them everything that a man who is handsome and attractive and got muscles will not stop and look beyond the outer and physical to engage with the woman that he's interested in and meet her in the ways that she needs to be met. And we're seeing this playing out in real time, guys. We talk about it all the time. That happens in real life. We're seeing it being played out in the villa, personally. So the episode 8, Virgie does pull Carmen for a chat on the terrace, and she asked him how was his day. He said, I had a great day, and you really threw yourself out there, and he appreciates it. And Victor's like, he's talking to Leah, she gave me bullshit, which she kind of did give him bullshit. I will say that. But I also agree with her. He also should not be able to dictate to her how she should have viewed a challenge. Birdie said oh no. Carmen says to Birdie, you didn't make me coffee. She's really stuck on this coffee thing. You didn't make me coffee. And he's like, don't worry, I'm making you coffee tomorrow. I just didn't know how it would work with Victor. And she's like, just because Victor chose me does not mean I don't want to still get to know you or not invested in you. You guys are on the same, basically the same sight line for her. And Victor's mad. She's like, oh, she chose Virgie, and even though he's no competition for me, look at her. She's spending more time with it. Like, he's so upset that she's choosing to spend her time with Virgie. And Carmen says, I felt the most comfortable with you in that challenge, which is why I wanted to kiss you, and I wanted to reassure you that I still am into you, and I'm taking our connection very serious. We're going at the same speed. And Virgie says he wishes they could share a bed together. And she said, well, maybe someday we can get there. And not him having a whole recoupling speech for this girl that he memorized and that he like just lays out to her, like pours his heart out. And she's like, our connection is so genuine. Like, he really gets me. I love a Lego set. And she hugs him. They tried to make it in the preview like she was gonna kiss him, but she does hug him. And he says, I feel like we've known each other forever. She's like, I feel like that too. I don't know, guys. You tell me how genuine you guys think that this was. I do feel like it was a genuine conversation. I do think it's possible that she only does see their connection as the strongest connection. I have a feeling she's not really interested in anybody else, and that the one thing about Birdie is not only um is the stuff that he is doing for her, but also the fact that he does come with commonalities that she and traits that she likes in a values type person. So you guys give me your opinion on that one. Um Cassie and Victor talk, and she's like, she has a whole different movement in her head when she's talking to Birdie. I was like, dude, do you not see that like is an issue? Like, you're making it seem like it's impossible that she could like Birdie at all, but you are seeing a physical difference in the way she is talking and reacting to the man. So, like, what is it? It could be you. But Rachel says, I think Carmen just likes to compete. Hannah with Victor, Cassie with Birdie. And so we'll see. Like, I don't know what it's going to be like if after this vote, but if she fully gets Birdie, will she still do and react the same manner as we see her acting here? We're gonna find out. I think it's possible that the dumping is gonna result in a bottom two couple left, and maybe they choose Virgie and Carmen to stay together. We'll see. We shall see. I think it's all too possible, personally. Um, so Oh, make sure if you guys have not, today was a public vote, and I think it's open for 2 hours after the show, so it should end in about 30 minutes. So if you have not voted for your favorite couple, please go and vote. To make sure you download the Love Island USA app and vote for your favorite couple there. I think you need just a phone number to register. I have it on my both my phone and I have it on my iPad. So I was able to vote for my two favorite couples on two different devices with two different phone numbers, which I do have. um, or I saw somebody said she took her boyfriend's phone and voted for the other favorite couple on her boyfriend's phone. So there's that. If you have a partner or a child or somebody, use their phone. Um, so we do see Cassie saying she knows that he's totally into Carmen. Because remember they've gotten really close. But she's basically kind of alluding to what Rachel is saying here. Like, it might just be her trying to make Victor jealous with Birdie, and I I feel like I'm not sure if it's that for her and Victor. I feel like she got Victor and now she don't want him. But with Birdie, I can see that she would. It's possible she was just trying to make him jealous with a lot of this other stuff that she was doing. Victor just says he feels played, and Cassie says she's here for him. So listen, it like I feel bad for him. I felt bad for him for most of this episode until one certain part, and then I did not feel bad for him anymore. But Carmen does say that they're lacking in communication, and again, this is what I was saying. I did not feel like their wants and needs and communicating styles were in the way that would be conducive for them to have a good coupling, and I think we're seeing that playing out. Um, so we do see Hannah begging for coffee in the morning from Marco. And he's like, he's going to make her coffee. Uh, we see KK doing Leo's hair. She's braiding it up. Harrison and Destiny are cuddling up. And they do go to bed, and Cassie and Carmen are holding hands because they're on the same side on each of their own beds, going to sleep. And so when they wake up, I was like, not Harrison and Destiny kissing when they wake up. Did anybody else see that? I was like, wait, she likes this one. She likes this one. Yes. Whatever he's doing is making her feel comfortable. And yes, yes, I like it. Virgie does make coffee for both Carmen and Cassie all by himself. No Hannah attempt. He figured it out. So all these people want to try to act like Virgie. So the man knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. Rachel says, "Too bad KK wasn't on last season to help Jesse out." Oh, poor Jesse. No. Oh no, poor Jesse. Yeah, well, all right, I won't talk about it. If you guys have been following me for a while, or like go to my TikTok, you know who I want Jesse to have been with. Especially after I found out that they could have been a potential couple afterwards. So yeah, his coupling was not my favorite, and I'm not surprised that they're not together. So but Marco, on the other hand, cannot figure out how to do the coffee, and so he dumps it out since he can't serve it to Hannah. The girls are talking about Harrison in the dressing room, and guess who pops up just as Destiny is saying how much she likes him? Harrison, who brings her breakfast, and that was so cute. She was so shocked. And he's like, "Did he hear me?" And it was such a cute moment. Um, and Carmen ITM said Birdie is not necessarily her normal type. She does talk to assholes normally. Um, and this is my thing. I do think that prior behaviors do dictate our future. So how we kind of move and do things on a normal basis. That being said, just because Carmen has not dated a Bergie type prior to this does not mean they can't be successful or that she doesn't really like him. It's kind of the same thing that when a guy has never dated a white guy, he's never dated a black woman, and then they start dating, is it possible that he doesn't really like her, or he just attracted to her? We never know until we try. Now we see on The Bachelorette that this guy wants to take her to see his family, and he's never dated a black woman before. That would be a red flag for me. But in this case, I feel like when you are on a show called Love Island, you should be trying to date outside your type. You should be exploring all your options to make sure that you find your best connection. Whether we as a public see that connection and chemistry is a whole different thing, because like Leo says that Anna is his normal type, one of his normal types. I saw more chemistry with him and Cassie than I do with him and Anna. It is what it is. But they seem to be going along really well. I don't think Harrison's ever dated a black woman that we know of, but I really like his connection with Destiny. So you never know what can happen. So she says she normally talks to assholes, but she's talking to the some of the guys and girls in the villa. I think it was KK and maybe Marco, and she's like, everyone is pissed at Victor because he's discounting Bergie. Like, he's literally making it seem like there's absolutely no way that Bergie will win in this situation. And um they point out that Bergie is doing things that nobody else is really doing. We'll talk about that later. But Bergie does pull Cassie and says he still wants to keep having conversations with her. He reassures her that, he's still open to getting to know her. And Cassie says she appreciates the coffee, and she just doesn't want to talk about them in relation to Carmen. And Bergie says Carmen and Cassie are BFFs in the villa, and he wants to be as open and honest with them so there's no issues going forward. Rachel says, why was Anna asking Destiny what she sees in Harrison? Like, isn't that obvious? I don't know why she is asking that. Like, I think she really, it's like what everybody's doing with Bergie. Like, I feel like with her, it's like, because every time he kept bringing her breakfast, Anna's like, well, what about me? You're not in his fucking couple. Go ask Leo to make you breakfast. Stop drooling over him making her breakfast and making an effort. And it feels kind of like she's annoyed that it's not Jasmine there being doted on like a princess by Harrison, but that it's Destiny instead. And I kind of want to slap her for it. Pache said, oh, she says what I said. She's still bitter about Jasmine going home. Exactly. Like, it's like, get over it. He chose Destiny. Your girl had a bunch of red flags. And it feels kind of like what I kept seeing in the IG comments and on some of the Twitter comments. It's like he was supposed to ignore all of Jasmine's red flags and not pick Destiny, and pick Jasmine to do what? Because nothing that, to me, that Destiny has portrayed has been like a huge red flag. Maybe the gold digger thing, but the gold digger thing is not even that big a deal. The girl has like, she's a microbiologist. She has like 2 or 3 degrees. Like, so if she wants to be a gold digger, she's bringing shit to the table. like that's what I'm saying to people. People are like, oh, you want all this from a man? Yeah, but I'm a whole ass this, and this. I'm bringing stuff to the table. So why shouldn't I want a man who's bringing stuff to the table? So that was Destiny's only red flag. And then Marco, who to me is the red flag. Like, you even saw it every time. Like, he's the one like focused on Destiny rather than the other way around. So then we have Marco and Hannah talking, and she's like, you seem off, and he's like, he's good, and she says she feels good, and she's like, you could have brought me that coffee this morning. He's like, no, it was terrible. And she's like, yeah, but I would have still drank it. I like coffee. And he's like, no, I couldn't give you that one. And she's like, it's not about the coffee itself, it's about the gesture. And so she does say it here. It's not about the coffee, it's about the gesture. They just want to have, so it's like the same thing with the breakfast. Anna wants the breakfast, but it's like, girl, go get your man that you stole to make you breakfast and stop drooling over Harrison. Like, stop. Hannah does feel though like he's a little lazy and he gets a little comfortable, and that is why he's not making her coffee. To be fair, that coffee did look like shit, so I got it, but he should have like brought her something, fruit, eggs. Listen, the coffee didn't work out, but here, I made this for you, or tea, a cup of juice, something. Because she was definitely like, you should have did something. So next we see Victor saying Bergie has separated himself from the guys, and he's talking to Harrison. He's like, oh, you ever notice that he separates himself? So it's like now Victor's studying Bergie to see like it's almost like he's now intimidated by Bergie because Bergie could literally steal the girl. The guy he says is no competition for him. He's literally like studying what he's doing in the villa to actually pull the girl that he wants. It is absolutely hilarious. And Harrison tells him it's because he talks to all the girls. It's because he sits there and he listens to them and he talks to them. And so Harrison said, we can learn a lot from Bergie. We need to go talk to all of them. We need to connect with them. And Victor's like, oh yeah, the fair hair. And so then we see Bergie sitting there listening to girls, and he's like, hey Carmen, you want to go for a chat? And then they talk about siblings and about their personal values. And she's like to Bergie, she's like, I hope Victor's smart ass comments aren't like getting to you. And he says, no, Victor's not getting to him. Although he did tell him that Carmen only liked him as a friend. And he's like, that did frustrate me. He's like, wait, what? Carmen said, I never said that. She now feels like Victor tried to sabotage her. Destiny does get a text, and they are going to be playing Mr. and Mrs. with a VIP guest, and they're going to get a special prize. Hashtag love is a shoot. I don't know what I wrote there. And if you know, you know. I think it might be love is a gem. Um, So they do split off into the partners, and this is where we found out that Destiny and Harrison have the exact same birthday, January 15th, which makes them Capricorns. Um, Cassie and Bergie, Cassie says she and Bergie are going to win. They talk about a few different things. Keenan and KK said they've been in the longest connection, so they feel like they have a good shot. But Victor and Carmen are actually talking about basically their argument. He does apologize. He says he asks she does ask about that conversation with him and Bergie. He admits that he did it, but he says it was not malicious. Um, and she said she's like he keeps making these remarks and it's frustrating her, and she basically lets him have it. And my whole thing with their conversation was, in nowhere in this did he say in nowhere in this did he not acknowledge that she never said that they were just friends. Like, he basically confirmed with her that she never said that they were just friends. So it pisses me off what he does after this. She does let him off and says they're just friends now, and he literally looks devastated. So then he goes into the bedrooms with the guys, and he lays into Bergie and says he's being double faced with the girls, and he's pissed. And he told what he told Bergie out of friendship and to save him, and that she said she never said that, but she's lying. But I said, when she said she never said that, you agreed with her that she never said that. So aren't you lying to Bergie? How dare you? How dare you? And so all the guys kind of still jump on Bergie. It's like, oh, but we have to keep what we're saying to each other in here. This is some toxic masculinity bullshit. So the next we see is Ariana Madix from Vanderpump Rules, which I do not watch, enters the villa. And Hannah is beyond excited. She gives her a hug. She loves her. Carmen's also excited. She's also a fan. Bergie had said he thought the person coming into the villa was going to be Margot Robbie. But she says, no, I'm not Margot Robbie. And then she does say that the winning couple does get immunity from the next dumping. And so like this is a prize that's never been offered on Love Island, so it's really like probably the best prize to ever get done. Brandy says Victor and Cassie don't know how to handle rejection at all. At all. Just not doing it right. I don't know. Um so I didn't really write down all the questions and the points and all that stuff, but we do come down to Victor and Carmen. Keenan and KK are at the bottom with 1 point. Everyone else has 2 points except for Harrison and Destiny, who had 3 points. And round 6, they do end up in a tie with Harrison and Destiny and Marco and Hannah. And I just knew this was burning Marco's little biscuit because Harrison and Destiny haven't been coupled up for a very long time. And they were basically beating everybody in the villa. But again, that's because they do have a lot of similar traits. Um, so they do break the tie, and Marco and Hannah do receive immunity from the next dumping. And they get to choose a couple that would go with them, and they choose Leo and Anna. And I was annoyed by the entire thing. While I do like the immunity, I do not like that they got to take a couple with them. It was annoying. I don't like the new way of this game. Yeah, like the prize was fine. I just didn't like them having to share it. Everybody else should have been in the bottom, personally, or they should have had to make choose Destiny and Harrison since they were tied with them. The oldest couple never win the challenge. Keenan and KK talk about so much. Yeah. But you also have to remember things that maybe you talked about a week ago, whereas some of these people are talking about it 2 days ago, right? Because they just coupled up and they're just trying to start making their connection. You guys are like, it's kind of like asking somebody their birthday and you talk to them for months and blah blah blah, and then you realize, oh wait, is their birthday coming up? When did they tell me their birthday? Oh my gosh, they told me their birthday. When was that? Oh man, that was like when we first met, like 3 months ago. Now let me go ask them their birthday again. Like it's kind of like that. It's like you are like moving into a different phase, but they're still in the phase that you began, where you're just getting those information details. So um guys, I'm not mad at these episodes. I do like, the one thing I do like about Love Island USA is they don't fully copy off of Love Island UK. So we got to see a couple different challenges. We've gotten to see a couple ways of doing the challenge. I did like them bringing in VIP guests to do Mr. and Mrs. Usually it's like one of the couples hosts, and they're also like doing the chalkboards themselves. So, and I feel like we did see that there are a few couples in here who do have a lot in common. And even with, I think there's all, I don't even know. I wouldn't call Cassie and Bergie a friendship couple, right? So before we've played this game, it's been usually one or two friendship couples, but even with there being no friendship couples, the couples were able to do really well, I think, for being, we're at a week out, right? Because it started a week ago. So I think I like the way it's going so far. We did have a public vote, so 2 couples are immune. We voted for the rest. As I said, I did vote for my top 2 couples, which I have as Destiny and Harrison and Keenan and KK. To me, they have the strongest connection out of anybody in the villa that I've seen, both new and KK and Keenan as an older couple, and Destiny and Harrison as a newer couple. Um, so everybody else, I think that's left. So who's left in the bottom would be Virgie and Cassie, and Carmen and Victor. So we will see if they choose to dump the final couple immediately, or they let the Islanders choose which boy and girl to save. So we might get a case where it's, like I said, they basically will maybe pick Carmen and Bergie to stay, to give them a chance since they have a connection, or they might dump them and give Victor and Cassie a chance to find love. I'm not sure that Cassie has a chance in this villa, and so if they're going to choose to keep Carmen, they might actually, what, like, we're going to not have a show tomorrow. So whatever day that they get the text to do, it might determine where she's at with either Victor or Bergie that day, who they dump. So we shall see. It really depends. In the UK and in prior Love Island USA seasons, what they've done is the bottom uh, two or three couples, they will save one immediately, and then they will have the Islanders pick one person to save out of the girls, and have the other set of Islanders. So usually it's like boys save a girl, girls save a guy, and then they basically save they might end up splitting up a couple. Did you hear the tea about Victor? Apparently he was on Temptation Island. No, but I wonder if I watched that season because he has been looking familiar to me. That actually would make sense. They said for us to vote for our favorite couples, but they can change it. Yeah, so they will literally make you vote for a favorite couple, but then they will literally be like, okay, Islanders get together, boys pick, so they'll split the girls up. So if it's down to three girls, they will save one or two and send one out the way, and then do the same thing with boys, and usually have opposite genders choose them. Rachel, what season? Yeah, it was on, the post is on Reddit, and it was in Spanish. Damn. Wait, was it Temptation Island for Spain, or was it Our Temptation Island? I'm gonna have to look it up. I hope. I wonder if he's on IMDb. What's his name? His name is Victor Roll, right? I mean, he was a wrestler, so I don't think that doesn't make sense. Like, we know, and it's we know it's all in the same family, so it's also possible. Victor Rao, yeah, Rao, Rao, Rahl, Temptation Island. No, I don't see anything. It's not coming up on Google for me. So yeah, Rachel, I can see that. I can see that. He recently immigrated to the U.S., so that actually makes sense. That I don't think that's unnormal. A lot of times you'll see, especially foreign countries, you'll see people tried out or wanted to be on other reality shows in their country or have been. And then I think Andre from season Andre was season 3. I think he was on a reality show there or something, and wherever he's from, South America, and then came on our show. We know Sally was in, I think, a singing competition. That was in Spanish, and she did come on Love Island USA too. So yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. Listen, as long as he ain't married with kids and a baby on the way, he fine. That was Andre's problem. It's just like, and these people want to come on here to get notoriety. We understand. You come on the show and you potentially can find a partner. Um, I feel like Love Island USA, it's a little harder because in the UK they just give them more time. Their villas are 8 to 10 weeks. Our villa is 6. So it's like, can you fall in love with someone in 6 weeks? Yes. If you came in there just to go on a TV show, does it make it more conducive for you to fall in love, or less? Probably less. But if you just so happen to meet your person, then it's like, great. Let's see where this goes. So I think that's where we are with Love Island USA. You just gotta take what you see in the villa and then be happy if they come out the villa and together for a little bit, and then just be okay with them not being together. So we have 3 successful stories right now, and but none of our black couples are together, so there's that. Or winners. None of the winners from season 1 through 4 are together, so there's also that. All right, guys. So that is it for me. As always, make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. As you saw yesterday, just in case I got sick yesterday, and I did try to put it out on my socials that I was pushing to today, my recap, and make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, because if you subscribe, you can get your notifications, and if you would see my post when I pushed this show as well. So Chantel and I will be back to recapping Love Island UK, probably not until the day of or the day after finale. Chantel's on vacation, so until she comes back, and like I said I would put something out about Love Island UK if I had something to say, and if you follow me, I tweet about it, but there ain't been nothing to say about what's going on in this villa. The show needs to end. It needs to end soon. Um, are you gonna cover? Yeah, the show needs to end. I need Love Island UK to end. They literally, there's only one right choice for winner, because there's only one couple to me that actually is rootable for, and then one secondary couple that I don't like the guy, and the girl knows me, but I'd be happy if they won because they could win. Like, other than that, like, if my top 2 is not Whitney and Locken and Ty and Ella, y'all can keep it. And now they're making up awards because they basically threw all the love out of the villa. Like, them messing up Scott and Catherine, I really think fucked up their season. Can you imagine that? You messed up one couple and you really, like, I think it just entirely ruined their season. Because you're having, it's so little love in the villa, you have to make up award ceremonies. You can't even send these people to the hideaway. That's how ridiculous this is. This is season 3 of Love Island USA all over again towards the end, where they like basically threw all the love at the villa, and you couldn't believe most of the top three couples, and you were just voting basically off vibes and anger. so, so anyway, Chantel will be back next week, and I think we're either recapping the day of finale or the day after. And so we'll chit chat about it then, um, unless something happens, and maybe I'll put out a couple TikToks or reels on it. But otherwise, right now, I watch it every day. I tweet about it every day. I am not seeing anything that's like, oh, I want to talk about this right now. No. So that's where we are with Love Island UK. I will be tomorrow. We're off. No Love Island USA, but tomorrow, if you can, watch the Big Brother 25th anniversary special on Paramount and CBS, because I will be here on Thursday evening to recap it with my new co-host Janelle, and we are going to be recapping Big Brother this season, Big Brother 25. And then I believe Friday I'll be doing my recap with Miss T Joy. So Chantel will be out, but we are going to do our Bachelorette recap. So Miss T Joy and I will do that together. And I'll be back here on Thursday night for Love Island USA. So thank you guys for joining me. I'm glad you guys could come in. Yes, this UK season is exhausting. Thank you so much. Oh, she did say haven't been catching her lives, but I can imagine coming out, she's probably so frustrated with everything that happened to her. She should be. So that's it, guys. I'm going to go to bed. It's 12 a.m. Thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you on Thursday for a couple more recaps. Love you guys. See ya.